Okay, so again, welcome. I'm Christian. We're going to start. This is Diplomado de Especialización, Metodología de la Enseñanza de Inglés. Well, this is what I'm planning to cover with you. First time, we expected to give much information to all of you. So it was very hard because we didn't have the time. And I was also telling the ones who connected early that it was impossible to make presentations for a whole book. But then now I had the freedom of choose the topics I want. I am also sure that we are not going to cover these ones. So we're going to start with what I really consider that is very important for a teacher, which is lesson planning. Then we're going to go to strategies to improve students' oral production. I chose this one because um, we didn't have the time to send you the material you should have read ahead of time. So these strategies do not require you to read something. They are in my investigation, so I want to share that with you. And then I chose Lexis, grammar, and then the other reading, the four skills, teaching pronunciation. I really hope that we can do all of them. But I think we're going to run out of time. Let's see how it goes. But again, the reason why the strategies are first is because we didn't have the time to send you the material that are on the platform, and Steve is gonna let you know how to handle the platform. But these strategies do not require previous reading. Okay, so that is the way I was designing this one. We're gonna start with English lesson planning. Remember that I always, when I have these presentations, remember that this is basically a way to share information. I never like this thing of being the one who knows everything, the one who will tell you what to do, the one who will tell you what is correct, what is incorrect. I don't really like that role. At least not for me. It is not for me to be the one that will tell you you should do this, or this is the key thing that you will do, and to be successful is this way. I have never liked that idea. So basically, remember, we are going to share information. I am sure that most of you have information that you can share, and I will be learning from you too. And so my role now is simply to moderate, to give you some ideas that I learned, and I am also all ears to learn from you as well. That's the way I would like to be also treated when I attend conferences. It really bores me when somebody pretends to be the Mr. Know-it-all. So that's not from my case. Okay, let's keep working here. So the materials we need, willingness to share information, as I told you, the books that I already sent if cameras on. So please guys, cameras on. Again, it's a matter of respect. Nobody knows if you're really connecting only just for the sake of getting a Thomas certificate, which is not the case here. So please turn your cameras on and be hands-on. Basically, I chose lesson planning first because from now on, most of things are going to be related with lesson planning. Cesar, again, what is your question?
Can you hear me, Christian? Can you hear me?
Don't hear you, Cesar. I'm sorry.
Can you hear me now?
No,
Oh, okay, let me try it again. Can you hear me now?
very hard. Barely here. What's your question, Cesar?
No, it's not a question, teacher. It's just I want to let you know I'm at work. So that's the reason my camera is going to be on and off, on and off. That's all. It's not a question. Before you start class, I don't want to interrupt you. I just want to let you know that.
I'm sorry, Cesar. Cannot hear you. Probably, probably you can write in the WhatsApp on the WhatsApp group, and then Tony will let me know. Mhm.
All right.
Please.
All right. I'll let you
Oh,
know.
okay. Now I can hear now.
All
Okay.
right.
What's
The
your
reason
question?
I'm
Okay.
letting you know before you start class, teacher, is that I'm working. I'm at work. So my camera is going to be on and off. So I hope you can understand that. I'm going to be on
Good,
class.
good.
I can hear you well. It's just that I'm at
Mhm.
work. So my camera is going to be on and off, on and off. So I hope
Good,
you
good.
understand that.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. Honestly,
All
guys,
right.
so please turn your cameras on. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Cesar. That
Thanks. Thank you.
that's the attitude that we like to have from you
Yeah.
guys. Okay. Thank you, Cesar. Okay, so we're gonna start. So most times in these things, I want to be hands-on. I don't want to bore people. So for this part, the objective is to shed some light about importance of lesson planning. Rules, again, cameras on, read, think, and share, and participate. And there is people here, here. So, okay, so there is a question for you there. How often do you really plan your lessons? I would like to hear from you. Somebody, how often do you really plan your lessons? Feel free, you can raise your hands there. Okay, Luz.
Good afternoon, teachers. Good afternoon, everybody. I talk about how often do you use it in
Mhm.
really place. I sometimes do in the evening. I sometimes you is doing the my lesson place. My lessons is in the morning of every day. No, every day. And I do my lessons is every day.
Yes, yes, definitely. I really appreciate that. There is somebody else. I don't see the hands now. I think they went off. Here, Jesus says nothing always. Thank you, Jonathan. Says I plan my lessons every weekend. John, more or less 90% of the lessons. Thank you, John. Let's see if there is somebody else there. Boris, how are you?
Well, in my case, I am gonna be sincere. When I was working as an English teacher actively, I was planning it like maybe 3 weeks ahead. But last time I worked as an English teacher here to get some money when I didn't have the scholarship yet. I didn't have time to plan everything because I used the material I had. So, and the last time I didn't plan. I didn't do
Mhm.
any plan. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally understand. Yeah. Thank you, Paloma. Every day, every weekend. Thank you, Yanira. Understand this is every day. Okay. Every day. Yeah. Of course, Carlos, you have something to say?
Good afternoon. I usually plan my my activity on Sunday evening because I work in a national school and when we work in a national school, the principal always asks the teacher on Monday the first hour they need to see the session. That's why I prepare always on Sunday evening my session for all the week.
Oh, good, good. Yeah, I know it's time consuming. Yeah. Okay, that's good to know. Every weekend, then I think Jorge says I plan my lessons in advance. I can review it. Yes, definitely, definitely. Well, this video is like 7 minutes long, I think. And the first thing that I would like to share with you, and probably I'm sure you're more than 100. I'm sure that most of you know things, how to make videos on YouTube faster and slower. I just learned it last year. I know I'm getting older, so for you it was new. I was teaching TOEFL to some guys, and in my TOEFL course, I have recorded lessons. There are 6 recorded lessons. Each lesson is 2 hour long. So I was very worried because the students were not doing their things. So one of my students, she said, "No, teacher, I can do your videos in only 1 minute." And I said, "How?" Because I said because I don't have special videos on my TOEFL course, but they are actually classes. 2 hours is pretty long, and I'm not edited videos. So she said I put it in twice the velocity, and that's it. So I know that there are some gaps there, so it goes faster, and I save 1 hour. That's the first thing that I know that some of you do not know. So we're gonna play this one. I think twice the velocity, so we save time. And for the ones who do not know, and you want to give like these videos that are very informative, but you are also worried about spending too much time on videos. When I was planning this one, I was thinking the same, but we're gonna take advantage of that. So let's do it. Okay, I'm gonna share it with you. Just a second. There are some more teachers joining us. Okay.
Planning is probably one of the
Can you hear? Thank you,
Yes,
Boris.
teacher.
Yes, teacher.
Okay.
Yes.
lesson
Yes, of
planning.
course.
Here is the thing for the settings. This is the velocity. I'm gonna put it twice the velocity, and we're gonna save time. There we go. You're English teachers. I suppose that you will make it.
Process with you. Lesson planning is probably one of the most important skills to master. If you can't plan your lesson, you cannot have a good class. Let's
I think I'm gonna put it on 175.
start by answering one crucial question. Why plan and prepare? First of all, a planned lesson is just better. It is better because you envision your lesson before it actually happens. By visualizing it, you materialize it. There are several reasons why a planned lesson is better. 1. A lesson plan helps you maintain focus. Children have very short attention spans and a talent to disrupt anything and everything, meaning that your lesson may turn into a complete disaster in a matter of minutes. Having a plan helps you as a teacher to survive the blast. 2. Lesson plan shows you are in control. Children quickly notice when a teacher doesn't know what to do. If you show one sign of weakness, you lose. Kids respond extraordinarily well to structure and regularity, and planning your lessons gives them that structure. Why do you think Roman legions conquered half the world? Because they had two features other armies didn't: structure and discipline. Use them. 3. Lesson plans show you are a professional teacher. They make good teaching portfolios. They're great for showing other teachers, your supervisor, your next employer, and so on, what you do with your time. Lesson plans give you a serious advantage. 4. Lesson plans give you a sense of accomplishment. As teachers, we all feel good after a lesson that went well. It's a very rewarding feeling. You did something well. You made a difference. You made people's eyes shine and sparkle. You got a few thank yous and 1 or 2 hugs. You did well because you kept track of what worked and what didn't. You did well because your lessons got better and better. You did well because you learned how to make a good lesson plan that became a great lesson. Where do I start? The lesson planning process may be challenging and confusing, no matter how experienced or trained you think you are, so I thought I would share my thinking process when I plan my lessons. A lesson plan is a creative process. It is your daily guide for what students need to learn, how it will be taught, and how learning will be measured. I have a lesson plan mantra that I chant before I write a lesson plan. I use these 6 principles in every single lesson plan I create. Here they are. Lesson planning is a creative process. Teach the learners, not your lesson plan. Focus on one language point at a time. Avoid teaching too much. Vary the activities in each lesson. Review and revise. So, where do I start? What is the first thing I do? I start with the lesson objectives, or sometimes they're called language objectives. Lesson objectives list what students will be able to do after completing the lesson. Lesson objectives are your goals or aims. The first question I usually ask myself is this: what are my students going to be able to know and say when this lesson is over? One of the most popular goal setting strategies is the SMART criteria, which ensures goals are focused. In the context of lesson planning, you can use the SMART criteria to determine your lesson objectives. Is the objective specific? Is the objective measurable? Can you confirm you have done it? Is the objective achievable by all students? Is the objective relevant to your class and students? Is the objective time-based to align with your syllabus or book you are teaching? When you write your lesson objectives to align with your.
I suggest that you take a screenshot of this one. This is very effective. It's something that I've been using for many years. In my last workplace, we use this one. So take a screenshot. Give you some seconds.
Syllabus or book you are teaching. When you write your lesson objectives, you must be very specific. If your lesson topic is prepositions, it is not enough to write students will learn prepositions. No, you must write something along these lines. By the end of this lesson, my students will be able to 1. Say, pronounce, and recognize 4 prepositions of place: on, in, under, next to. 2. Fluently form the following sentence structure: the pencil is preposition, the pencil box. And 3. Use these prepositions in a simple dialogue. Target language. Always, always, always include your target language. Period. End of story. Just do it and thank me later. Lesson procedure. Your lesson procedure is an in-depth explanation of how the lesson will progress in the classroom. The lesson procedure is essentially step-by-step instructions that walk you through everything from the time students enter the classroom until the bell rings at the end of the period. It is smart to be very detailed in this portion of your lesson plan. After all, there will be cases when another teacher or substitute needs to fill in for you, right? My lesson procedure consists of 9 steps: greetings, class rules, warm-up, review, lesson topic introduction, presentation or teaching, practice, guided and independent, production, where students show you what they've learned, and lesson closure. Assessment methods. Seeing growth and improvement can be a huge motivator for your students, but you can't see growth if you don't measure it. That's why no great class is complete without some way of assessing students. Assessment methods measure whether your students learned a lesson's content and met your lesson objectives. Ultimately, this assessment aims to measure how well your students learned a lesson's material based on how you presented information. Some assessment methods include quizzes, language games, hands-on activities, mini presentations, group plays, lesson summaries, and so on. If you are interested, I can make a separate video about different assessment tools I use in a language classroom. Please let me know in the comment section below if that is what you'd like to see. Lesson reflections. Self-evaluation is a powerful tool that will help you become a better teacher. Reflecting on and evaluating your teaching after a lesson is over will give you insights that may save you lots of trouble later. Think back on the lesson and consider the answers to general questions like these. What went well in this lesson? Why? Was I well prepared? Was my lesson plan clear? What problems did I have? Why? Were my students involved? What went well? What didn't? What could I have done differently? What could I have done to make my lesson better? It feels great when you have a good class. Self-evaluations and lesson reflections help you become a great teacher and help you make amazing lessons. I hope you enjoyed this video and feel like you are a bit more confident and know where to start to write a great lesson plan. If you like what you see here, please like and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the bell icon to turn the notifications on. This way, you'll never miss a single upload and
Well, it was an 11-minute video that we did it like very fast. Something that I'm using like this last year. I'm using in my all my lessons. It's very saving time. I use it also now when I start to study. And there is a challenge also when you study courses with this, is that you get tons of information in a very short time. So you have to be very well focused. And also I use this strategy when I even cook. So it helps me to cook faster, especially when I am about to burn my foot. And then I'm gonna share with you. Thank you for turning your camera on, Wilbur. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna share with you my lesson. Thank you, thank you. Uh, Now that I teach independently, do not work at for somebody else now, mostly, except with Tony. Uh, well, I have some lessons. The second, so let me share. And I always tell my clients, well, I share with you um, my lesson plans, and if you do not see my my lesson plan. That means that probably I'm not going to teach it that day. That's the way I handle my private lessons. And you can see my whole screen. And for example, this is my lesson plan. Now I use my lesson plans on Google Drive. I have my objectives. For example, these are my lessons kits. And as the guy said, I always put objectives, the date, the objective. I put the topic and also the target language. You see, and I put bold letters so they can clearly see. I change colors day by day so my students can see which color belongs to each day. So this is for my kids. I have two sisters there. Well, this was my lesson planning for you. And I don't know if we're gonna share this with you. This is my other group. Here I am preparing some other students. You can see my screen, right, guys? It seems that
Yes, teacher.
Yes, teacher.
okay. So this is my class. Here I have the students who want to do a master in the USA. Some of them want work and travel. We use pictures there. My lesson planning. This is my Spanish class, teaching my friends from Seattle there, my second city. I still have students, Spanish students there. And this is my other class. I'm not teaching TOEFL. Luckily, well, lucky me that I'm teaching TOEFL because it takes much time. So you see, there is always, and as the guy was saying, review. There always include a review in your class. I'm teaching now very old ladies who want to have a visa for the United States. They are older than 55. And for them, it's really, really crucial to review. You see, date, objective, review. That's basically what I wanted to share. These are my 4 lesson plans that I always have there. This is for the other kid that, well, I'm not teaching him anymore, but as he has this, has the, well, it was the first lesson plans that I made once I stopped working dependently. So yeah, I use it as a master. Okay, so then let's keep working here in the presentation. I think there's a comment. Yes, thank you, Jorge, for your words. Yeah, using colors, a way to keep track on our guys, and also for me because I sometimes forget. It seems that once you're getting older and older, you tend to forget things faster, and then that's natural thing. Okay, so let's keep working here. Okay, where is it? Here. No, it's not here. It is here. Okay. Okay, so let's go back to the presentation. Mhm, mhm. Okay, it says exercise 1. Look at the following statements and number them 1 to 4, where 1 is the most important. Let's see, Boris, let's remember Ibna times. Boris, can you explain the activity now? Boris, are you there?
Uh, Look at the following statements and number them. Well, do you want me to to rephrase it?
Yeah, to explain the instructions in the one that says exercise 1, please.
Oh, basically they have to put the numbers in the order they consider like they're the most important. They have to use the numbers from 1 to 4.
Okay, so please do it individually. Remember that there is no right answer here. Okay, so do it individually, then we share our thoughts. I give you 3 minutes. So 5 and 49 something. We jump in your thoughts. Wilber, are you finished? I see that I see you put your hand there. You finished, Jorge. Thank you, Jorge. What is your order there?
Okay, do you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, I think number one is a good teacher should plan their lessons carefully. Number two, a good teacher should know their subject. Number three, a good teacher should make lessons interesting. And obviously, number four, a good teacher should respond to the needs of individuals. Okay?
Good, good. Thanks for letting us know. Thank you.
Mhm.
Jesus says the first one is for him is a good teacher should know their subject. Thank you. I totally agree. Then the number two for Jesus is a good teacher should plan their lessons carefully. Then the number three for Jesus is a good teacher should respond to the needs of his individuals. And then the number four for him is a good teacher should make lessons interesting. Mm-hmm. Eugenio, thanks that you are joining. It's been years that I don't see you. Okay, for Eugenio, number one is a good teacher should know their subject. Number two, a good teacher should plan their lessons carefully. Then a number three is lessons interesting. And the number four is a good teacher should plan their lessons carefully. Uh-huh. Good, good. Mm-hmm. Boris, do you have something to say?
Yes, Jason, I would like to ask you something. Is there like a determined is there a determined way of qualifying this? Because to me, it's very difficult since all of these features really um, are very, all of these are very important in the learning process. So that's why for me it's very difficult to put numbers. Uh-huh.
No, there is no right answers here. It's matter of opinions. For example, for me, it's lessons interesting. That's what I put first. Then the second I put a good teacher should respond to the needs of individuals, which I put first in lessons carefully. Then the number three for me is to know the subject. And the number four is to plan carefully the lessons. But it's a matter of how you take things. Thank you for your answers, Gerardo, Maria, Ursula. Thank you. I think who's similar to my answer? Nobody. Thank you, Gladys. Okay, we all got different opinions. Let's, Cecilia, do you have something to say?
Yes. Hello. I think that for me, the first one and number one is to know the subject well. Because if you don't know the subject, you cannot explain. You can have a wonderful plan, but if you cannot explain it, you're not going to be successful. So that's why number one is the most important one thing. And of course, you can plan something, but if it is not interesting, if the lesson is boring, or if the students are bored, you're not going to achieve your goals, right? And they are going to finish, they are going to abandon the lesson, they're not going to continue because it's not interesting. So planning a lesson is important, but there are some other factors that are more important too.
I totally agree with you. That's the way I was telling you that last time we wanted with Steve, with Tony, we wanted to give you much information, but to have all this book to give you in short time, I just simply shared the book itself. I didn't prepare any presentation, so I honestly think that that class, that training was boring for me too. Not this time,
Right?
but
Yeah.
we
You
have
need to
fewer
catch
topics
it.
now.
Yes, of
Yes,
course.
exactly. That's
And to
why I
know
was
the
telling some friends that now it was going to be different. Uh-huh. Thank you, thank you. Carlos, do you have something to say?
Well, as number one, I have put, for example, that a good teacher should know their subject. As Cecilia said, no, we as a teacher, or if we want to plan something, we have to know the subject. That's why I choose a good teacher should know their subject first. Then we have, as a second one, I have put the teacher should plan their lessons carefully. And that's why this is for me. This is the sequence, okay? The next one is a good teacher should make lesson interesting. We, as an English teacher, we have to make meaningful activity for our students. In this way, they can engage in our classes. And as the last one, a good teacher should respond to the needs of an individual. That's what I think. Maybe each one of us has a different way to see the session, no?
Definitely. Thank you, thank you. Cesar, do you have something to say before we move on?
Yes, teacher, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, Christian. I agree with my partners, but everything goes hand to hand. You have to get a good planning, and also you should know about the subject, no? But I think for myself, you should give the students a preview. Like you should let them know, students, next class is going to be about colors. So investigate or get to know about colors. What do you know about colors? What colors do you know in English? No, I think that will help. It helps a lot too. It goes along with the planning, you know. But it says no, the good teacher should know the subject. It doesn't really matter if you know the subject really, really well if the students don't have a preview about it. You get what I'm saying? If the students
Yeah,
don't know
yeah.
anything about the class, then yeah, they're gonna pick it up, but they're gonna be lost in a bit. They're gonna be like, okay, the teacher is coming all strong about colors, but if you let them know, no, next class is gonna be about colors, then they had a feedback. They have to investigate about it. They have to know about it. That's my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you. So now there is another exercise for you. Here. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see. Somebody who can read about Tracy, please. Okay, Lina, can you read about Tracy?
The best lessons are the ones that I don't plan at all.
Thank you. The second one, somebody who can read about Jenny. Don't see it. I
It's
am
not
letting.
here.
Okay, please, can you read? Or probably Claudia, can you read, please, the second one?
Okay. It's exhausting. I'm planning lessons until about 10 half at night.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Kathy, can you read about Gary, please?
Okay, I try to plan a bit for each lesson, but I usually end up changing it.
Mm-hmm. And then Jorge, could you please read about Alex?
If I don't have a plan for the lesson, then it soon becomes total chaos. I have to plan carefully.
Mm-hmm. Okay, guys, so now pay attention. This is your task. Your task is to think about what are the reasons why these teachers are saying these sentences, okay? I repeat, you have to think why the teachers have these feelings. I'm gonna give you 3 4 minutes. I will open this window because it seems it's gonna rain. Okay, I'll give you 3 4 minutes. Let me see. Alina, what is that you have to do? Or probably Jorge, what is the activity now?
You have to explain the reasons. You have to explain the
You have to
reason
explain the reasons.
why the teacher think like this.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, start working. I'll give you 3 minutes. I think it's wrong. It's right. Okay, let's see. Somebody would like to share some ideas about Tracy? The best lessons are the ones that I don't plan at all. Jan.
Yeah, very simple word, lazy.
Yes.
Laziness.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
Yeah, definitely.
he doesn't
Yeah.
want to do that. That's my point.
Mm-hmm. Good, good. Jorge.
I think she's improvising,
Mm-hmm.
uh, just trying to get the best she have in mind. She has in mind, and that's all. I think it's not right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good, good, good. The second one it says it's exhausting. I'm planning lessons until about 10:30 at night. Somebody who would like to share some thoughts about this? Somebody? For Jenny? Jorge.
Uh, she's working too much. Need to rest a moment, and then we start. It's not
Mm-hmm.
a good way to rush, and then got nothing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Good. Jan?
Maybe this person is a perfectionist. He is a she. She wants to do it in all details, and that
Mm-hmm.
costs a lot of time, of course.
Exactly. Yeah. It used to happen to me too. Uh-huh. Gustavo?
Hello, teacher. Well, I think that maybe this person doesn't have a method or a way or doesn't know how to plan it. So that is why she's spending a lot of time thinking about what to do for the lesson, and she's not deciding. She's not making decisions um, about her planning or about her lesson. Sometimes could be a problem for us as teachers.
Definitely. Totally agree. Gladys?
Sure, Christian. I think the person is not focusing on the objective of the lesson and also in the student's needs. And also, this person must keep in mind about the process. If we focus in the process, and the planning process, that's going to save time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know what you are saying. Uh-huh. Thank you. Uh-huh. Maria says it's not easy for him to do it, so he takes lots of time. Uh-huh. Oh, Percy, you don't see Percy, you can see my screen now? You can see my whole screen or only the small thing? Let me see if I can make it bigger. I think I think this one is gonna be better. I think this should be bigger now, right? Thank you, Percy. Okay, the next one about Gary says I try to plan a bit of for each lesson, but I usually end up changing it. Uh-huh. Somebody about Gary. John? Mm-hmm.
This person may be too afraid to improvise or maybe to react of the children's of the students' needs at that moment. You make a lesson plan, but at the moment you can change it if necessary. And this person maybe
Mm-hmm.
wants to follow the lesson plan exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
You should always pay attention to what your students are producing. If you detect an error, then you can simply change your lesson. It's very frequent. Yes, Cecilia.
And sometimes you have, for example, as I work in a school or the same level. For example, I have two or three courses of studies at the same level. Um, Not all the groups are the same. And sometimes some activities function for one student and that activity doesn't function for other group of students. So you have to be flexible.
Yeah, totally. In one of the presentations I was preparing, it really says that there is a time. Oh, yeah, okay, I remember. When you move from control practice to the free practice, in the free practice, if you notice that your students didn't take it very well as you expect, then you should go back and probably explain or present again that piece of grammar. So yeah, we have to be flexible in that regard. And about Alex, he says, if I don't have a plan for the lesson, then it soon becomes total chaos. I have to plan carefully. Somebody who has some comments about that? Alina?
Just teacher, I think you called me before, but my internet is so low, so I'm sorry. But
No
I
worries.
think Alex is totally my case because planning a class session is like crucial because it helps teacher organize content, like set clear goals and tailor instruction to the needs of students. That is really important. This ensures like effective learning maintains focus on educational objectives and maximize classroom time for a successful learning environment.
Yeah, totally agree with you. For example, as I was sharing with you my lesson plans on Google Drive, one advantage of that is that I shared my lesson plan with my students. So my students, uh, for example, our class is in 2 days from today, and my students want to check my lesson plan, and there they will see if I need that they do something in advance. So that is one advantage that thanks to COVID, we take advantage now of that technology. So they know that they should be checking my lesson plan. So they know, okay, my teacher wants me to do this, is this. So they do in advance. And that's why we use basically flip learning. And flip learning, students do something in advance. And I think, as you said, technology can also, like, it's not that you have to wait until the day of the class to see your class. Sharing your lesson plan with your kids is usually helpful. So the students, your students know, I will see what my teacher is doing for next class. Oh, my teacher wants this new thing, and it is saving time thing. Okay, guys. So thank you. I was thinking here. I'm thinking then our next steps should be our next steps should be to do a lesson plan for this task. But I think Tony couldn't share the materials yet. I know that there are many novice teachers here, so I'm gonna share this book, only the first lesson plan, so you have a model for the next topic. Then during the break, Tony is gonna let you know how to enter the platform, so you can download. I'm not sharing the complete books because I don't want to do the last training. It's too much information. But I'm sharing all these models of lesson planning. You will have them, but I'm gonna share only one with you. I'm gonna stop sharing this one, and I'm gonna open that that book. Just give me a second for my books. hmm You can see this screen, right?
Yes.
Mhm. I'm gonna share with you one of the lesson plans. Okay, so please, you can take a screenshot from this. I'm gonna scroll it down and then share again with you. But then Tony is gonna let you know how to access your platform, and then you will find the 4 chapters from different books that I share with you. So take a screenshot. I'm gonna scroll it down. Enter. So you will get only for this moment, you're gonna get one model. Okay, but you once you take a screenshot, Percy, then you can make it bigger. Mhm. But Tony is gonna let you know how to make it. Oh, take a screenshot. Um,
But they are smaller.
we are not gonna read them now. I'm gonna make it bigger. Okay, you can take a screenshot. Mhm. Gonna scroll down. There, take a screenshot. Okay, so that's it. There are some other lesson plans there, but don't worry. Tony's gonna share them with you. And I am, as usual, teachers are always concerned about time. So, yes, Karim, uh, Tony is gonna let you know how to access the platform. Do not worry about that. On the platform, you will have them. So now, so for this part, we have finished what I wanted to share with you. Basic thing about lesson planning, and unless you have some questions to this about this topic that you have, any questions? No questions so far? Nope. Okay. So about the lesson planning that I was doing for this part. Next thing it's gonna be teaching Lexis, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm gonna look for my presentation there. Here it is. Okay. So now we're gonna do teaching Lexis or vocabulary, you can also call it. Well, for the last part, I wanted to get until the lesson planning that you do your
Persona.
lesson plan, but
5, 10. No sé.
but we are running out of time, so we're gonna jump into teaching Lexis. So let's move. There are 5 objectives there. It says class objectives and rules. Okay, I would like to know if somebody could read the objectives for this part, please. Any volunteer that would like to read? Say it. Just a second. Oh, right here. Do not see it. No. Boris, can you please read?
Okay, the 5 objectives, right?
Yes, please. The 5 objectives.
Okay, class objectives and rules. Number one, ways of presenting vocabulary. Number two, ways of practicing vocabulary. Three, choosing what vocabulary to teach. Four, the relationships between words. And five, learners' problems and their causes.
Thank you. Dun, 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 dun. So there we go. Aha. So this is part of my Spanish classes. Well, I just took the first paragraph because I knew that it was not going to be readable, small letters. So the question is very basic. It says, what would you need to teach this to a person whose native language is not Spanish? What would you need to teach this? Any thoughts? Boris, are you saying
Uh,
something?
yes, I think first of all you need like a preview of the words uh, you're going to be using. Of course, related with
Definitely.
images and like the keywords that can explain more also.
Yes, totally right. As Pilar said, use some visual materials with the new words, as Gustavo says. Teach the vocabulary first. I'm going to share with you again my lesson planning for my Spanish classes, and you will see that we all share the same thoughts. These are the readings I share with her, and we are all right. We are all right. This is my lesson plan for my Spanish classes. Just a second. Where are you? Here. So this is my lesson plan. As I'm telling you, as I told you, my lesson plans are shared with my students. So the students know what I put new, what I put this day, today, yesterday. They know their homework, and there we go. This is the article for my Spanish student. It's an old book from my grandfather, and I had to give her help with vocabulary first. You see, in the cases that I consider is too difficult, I choose the pictures. And that's it. So we are all totally right. You see, that's why I told you at the beginning, I don't like these courses to be saying, I am the one that knows everything. We are sharing things. We all know. We all have learning, have experience. Let's keep working here. Here. So you're all right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh. Mm-hmm. So there is another question there. What is more important to you, grammar or vocabulary? Explain, please. Any thoughts? Vocabulary. Thank you, Santos, Gerardo, vocabulary. Gustavo says both. Ursula, vocabulary. Light free
Vocabulary.
reading, vocabulary.
For me, I
Thank
think
you.
so both vocabulary and grammar.
Both.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for your comments, guys. In the material that I'm gonna send you, well, that Tony is gonna, I don't know what's happening with this. It's jumping. But in the materials, you will read that basically in the book, you will see that you can understand something if you know some words. But if you didn't know any word at all, then you wouldn't understand anything. So that's why vocabulary seems to be more important than grammar because you can know, like, I mean, if you know some basic words, you can get an idea of what somebody is telling you, or you're reading something, but not that doesn't happen about grammar. So that's basically the reason why most important is that to know at least some words. Then let's go here. It keeps jumping. Don't know what's happening with my. Okay, here. Ways of presenting vocabulary. So, in a material I that Tony is gonna teach you how to access, mm, there are like many examples. I chose the most important ones, and we are gonna basically read them and share thoughts. For example, classroom example 2. The teacher gives the class a grade, such as the one below. The learners have to think whether they think the words along the top are used with make or do. So do it now as if you were the students. Okay, so I'm gonna just check some understanding. Jack, are you there? Can you explain this task, please? Jack Yahiro, are you there?
Yeah, of course, teacher.
Uh-huh. What is the task now, please?
This is the calculations and also do make and redo.
Hmm,
Combined with this.
I can barely hear you. I'm sorry. Cecilia, what is the task? What's the task now? Mhm. Wilber, can you explain the task, please? Wilber,
The task is to choose which words are used with make or do. No, that is the task.
thank you, Carmen.
Yes.
Okay, I'll give you a couple of minutes for you. Thank you, Carmen. I really appreciate it. Start working, please. You can grab a paper and let's start
Teacher,
checking there.
you hear me
Give you some
now?
minutes.
Jack, you hear the teacher? Not yet.
Okay. Who'd like to say the words that go together with make? I think there are some. Okay, Jesus, which go with make, please?
Hello, teacher. Uh, make a phone call, make a bet, make a mistake. That's it.
Any other idea? What about profit? profit goes with make or do, John?
Make a profit.
Make a profit. Good. How about we do? Ursula says, do your best. No, do mistake. I cannot write just a second. Thank you for your participation, guys. It for me, time is flying. I suppose we were supposed to have having a break. To be having a break now. Okay, Ursula says, do your best, make mistake, make a bet, make a phone call, do nothing. Good, 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 make a profit. Good. Okay, so then the question, John, would you mind reading the question there? This is number 4, please.
Can you think of any other verbs that combine with a lot of different nouns?
Thank you. Can you think of any other verbs that combine with a lot of
Yeah.
different nouns?
Get,
Okay,
have,
John.
be.
Mm-hmm.
I found 3 verbs.
Can you repeat, please?
Get,
Mm-hmm.
have, be.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Good, good. Any other ideas that you have? Other verbs? Somebody else? Yes, Pilar. Make a date, make a decision. You can also say take. What what words go with take? For example,
Take, teacher, take.
excuse me, Jack, I cannot hear you very well. Take a
I understood,
shower.
Right.
yes, I understood that we have to find other verbs, not with make and do, but other verbs with a lot of different collocations.
Yes, it's pretty similar to collocation. Yes, there is some
That's the reason I
somebody.
said get, have, and be.
Oh, okay, okay, I understand.
Yeah.
Thank you, John. Then
Okay.
Jesus says take care, for example. Okay, so this is a way of presenting vocabulary, for example, that you use. It's basically, as John says, thank you, John, is like pretty similar to collocation. Then let's see what else is here. Here. Here, classroom example 3. Somebody who would like to read uh, this. Yes, Rosa. Okay, okay. Somebody who would like to read this, please. Probably Noemi. Or Jesus, can you read this, please?
Can I read?
Sure, Maria, thank you.
Yeah, okay. It's a way of presenting vocabulary, classroom example 3. The teacher distributes words on cards to each student. For example, one student has arrogant on a card, and another has self-confidence. Another has terrorist, and someone else has freedom fighter, and so on. The learners circulate, looking at each other's words and trying to find their part. When they do, they stick them on the board next to each other. There is a space on the board marked words we don't know. The teacher deals with this at the end of the activity and checks the understanding of the other words.
Thank you. So now let's see. It says, oh, keeps jumping too fast here. Here, you have, oh no, again. Here, no. Here. There are some questions for you. For example, it says, what is the difference between a terrorist What is the difference between a terrorist and a freedom fighter? What is the difference between arrogant and self-confident? That is one question. Jan, can you read the question number 6, please?
Number 6. Should the learners already know all the words the teacher uses in the activity, some of them or none of them?
Uh-huh. Thank you. Jorge, can you read the number 7, please?
Sure. What other sort of word relationships could this activity work with?
Uh-huh. Okay, so I'm going to give you 3 to 4 minutes. Please try to answer these questions. Okay, so let's see. What is the difference between a terrorist and a freedom fighter? Somebody there? Yes, Alina?
Well, for me, teacher, the distinction between a terrorist and a freedom fighter, it's subjective and depends on perspective. For example, a freedom fighter is seen as someone fighting for liberty and justice, while a terrorist employs violence for political or ideological goals.
Totally right. Yeah, and yeah, it will depend also on your opinions. Yes, you might say that a terrorist could be a freedom fighter depending on the context of each country. Yeah, but you're right. That's the definition. Thank you. What's the difference between arrogant and self-confident? Somebody? John, we cannot hear you. Are you trying to speak?
Sorry,
No?
I forgot just the contradiction. I didn't see it. But I think self-confident is a positive way that you show that you can do something. Arrogant, then maybe you think you can do it, but maybe you cannot do it. So then you think, yeah, your thinking is not good enough. You don't know
Mhm.
yourself, and if you are self-confident,
Good,
you know yourself very well.
good. Thank you. Totally right. Next one. It says, should the learners already know all the words that teacher uses in the activity, some of them or none of them? Somebody, you are more than 110 people. Come on, try to participate. Otherwise, you're going to get bored. Somebody? Question number 6. Cecilia.
It's not necessary to know all the words. Maybe you can predict from the context the rest of the
Yep.
words. So
Mhm.
there are some words that you cannot understand, and it doesn't. I mean, it's not an impossibility to continue doing the activity if you don't know a word.
Yes. Uh-huh. John, you have something else to say?
I think the students have to know the words because there is no context. There's only one word, so that makes more.
Mm-hmm. That is.
Sure, we can associate the words with function. I mean, function of the words, if they are verbs, if they are nouns. Also, we can associate the words, relate the words with places too, with seasons, with environment.
Mm-hmm. That is for number 7, right, Gladys?
Yeah, that's it.
Yes, uh-huh. Thank you, uh-huh. Yes, thank you, Gladys. So that this is another way to present vocabulary. As Gladys is saying, you can choose here sicknesses, seasons, colors, anything, and this is another way of presenting vocabulary. Thank you. So let's see here, here, uh-huh, here, uh-huh. Oh, it moves by itself. Here, okay. Now, yes, no, it jumped again. Think I would rather jump again into the simple PDF. Here, it says the teacher is teaching a monolingual group. A learner asks what a particular word means, and the teacher translates it for her. There are a couple of questions there. Flor, can you read the 2 questions, please? Flor, are you there? Mm-hmm. Elmer, teacher, can you read these 2 questions, please? Jorge, I bet you can read these 2 questions, please.
Okay, what are the limitations of using this technique? What are the advantages of using this technique?
Thank you, thank you. So this is much our context because most of us teach in monolingual groups. So you have questions 9 and 10. So please start thinking about your answers, please. Thank you, Yanira. The thing is that I am trying, like I am presenting directly from the web page that I use to do these presentations, but I have also the PDF that I thought from the platform is what's going to be better. But thank you. Gonna use the PDF that I already downloaded. Okay, give you a couple of minutes. Okay. So, what are the limitations of using this technique? Anybody? Boris?
Well, I think first of all, it creates dependency on their mother tongue, and the second one is like this kind of technique doesn't evoke. Um, how can I say it? Oh, doesn't evoke uh, cognition activity, so they are not engaging in trying to understand the words. Mhm.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree. Carla, welcome. What do you think? What are the limitations?
Well, I think the students become more dependent and they won't explore more about the context, and it not only affects this text, but it could affect other, for instance, if they read other text or other kind of text, they will become more dependent, so they won't explore more.
Yeah, totally agree. And what are the advantages of using this technique? Anybody? Pilar says that translations don't help students develop their communications. Good, Pilar. What about advantages? Gladys.
Time consuming.
Exactly. Time consuming. Yeah, you save time. You just translate it. Boris, thank you.
I think it can be a good technique when there is a hard definition, when there's a complex definition of a word. So yeah, it can be helpful.
Yeah, for example, abstract words, right? Things that you cannot draw, abstract words, simply translate sometimes. Good, good, good. Let's see. I think we are gonna have all this material. Tony's gonna let you know how you're gonna access. So let's see if we're gonna jump. We're gonna skip some. Mm-hmm. Okay, we're gonna this one. Uh-huh. Let's do this one. It says classroom example 2. Mhm. Yeah. It says the learners work in small groups to write a dialogue using different combinations with make and do. When they have finished, they perform the dialogue for the class. For example, in a meeting, we made a loss last year for the first time in our history. What can we do? We should try to do more business abroad or think of introducing a new product. We made a big mistake when we blah blah blah. There is a question there. Carla, can you read the question there, please?
Number two, right?
Yes.
What other language, as well as combinations with make and do, the learners need to do this activity?
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you, Carla. So think about this question regarding this activity, please. I give you a couple of minutes. Mm-hmm. Okay. Any ideas there? What other combinations or other language students might need here? Gladys.
Sure. Sorry. I think the collocations, compound words like compound nouns, and also phrasal verbs.
Yes.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
when I say
Thank you.
compound words, it could be compound, well, all the ones we have in English, no? That's what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes, thank you. Mm-hmm. Somebody else? In these kind of conversations, what other skills will students need? Yanira?
Well, I think they need to be creative. If they are going to construct a conversation, they need to have a lot of brainstorming to know what can they talk about, what kind of situation. They have to focus on what kind of situation they can use these two verbs. For example, in this case, make and do. So they need to make a lot of brainstorming in order to get ideas and to as a group or maybe as a pair work, they have to to get to talk in the same language.
Yes, definitely. Collocation, phrasal verbs. How about, for example, the ability or yeah, what Yanira said before I forget is something very important. Previous knowledge. Thank you, Yanira. Previous knowledge. They will definitely need previous knowledge. Also, the ability of agreeing, disagreeing, discussing those things. They will need to have these abilities. Well, these at least chunks of languages here. I was skipping because of this is the software, is that my computer. But I think I chose something that was more important than this one. Let me see it. Well, that I think is more important. Let me see here. Here, this one. Uh, this one. Here. It says the teacher uses examples to explain meaning. For example, to explain fruit, he says apple, oranges, plums, bananas, all kinds of fruit, and the kids will say, fruits. Can you think of any other words as well of fruit that you could teach in this way? So this is a technique. What other words can you teach this way? Anybody? Cesar.
Teacher, you can, I think when you teach about fruits, you can teach about the alphabet also. And also that um, the alphabet is more important, I think, teacher.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. Some other thoughts? What else can you teach this way? Adjectives. Thank you, Yanira. Anybody else?
Sports.
Yes, Pilar. Foods, meals. Yes, Jan.
Sports.
Sports. Thank you,
Others.
thank you. This is another technique.
Days of the week.
Days of the week. Thank you. Then let's see. Then we're gonna jump this one. This one. I'm using this now. As I told you, I'm helping four ladies who would like to go to the US. They want to get their American visa finally after many years. Two of them, their dream is to go to Disney. But as I told you, in my case, I am also experiencing that you tend to forget things. And I'm planning to use this technique now. For this class with these ladies and as well as the two kids that I'm teaching. It says, when the teacher teaches new words, she writes them on a slip of paper and puts them in a bag in the classroom. when she has a few minutes at the end of of a lesson, she goes to the back and re-elicits some of the words from the learners. Sometimes she divides the class into groups and gives each group certain words from the back and gives the groups to time to make a story incorporating the given words. After hearing the stories, there is feedback and corrections. So what I'm planning to do here is we will put the new words or the structures. We also use with target structures, and I'm gonna ask the kids and the ladies to at least give me a sentence before we start classes, because I am very worried that two of them have their visa interview on March 1st, but I am really worried if they will really remember the important words for their visa interview. Honestly, I'm worried about, at that age, you tend to forget everything. I'm planning to use this. So the question is, what are some of the advantages of this technique? Again, give you a couple of minutes. Think about this. I'm really planning to use this in two of my classes. Give you 2 minutes, please. Okay, I want to hear your thoughts. I told you some of my ideas. My advantage for my classes with these ladies who are older than, I think, 65. I'm planning to do this. I totally sure these ladies need the grammar. I'm very worried about their visa. I'm very worried that, well, the tourist visas most of times is in Spanish, but I'm really worried the tourist visa is gonna be in English. And I'm trying to recycling every single class. So I'm planning to do this. From next Tuesday, I'm gonna use this. That's my advantage because I know the age, as I told you, it's happening to me too. You tend to forget things easily. That's one advantage. Another advantage that you might think, Carmen.
Okay. I think that one of the advantages of this technique is that students are going to remember the words because they are using it in context, not isolated. It's different when you teach the words word by word like a memory, and it's difficult to remember. But if they use in a context, like a conversation, a story, it could be easy
Hmm.
to remember.
Yeah, definitely. Uh-huh. So in this case, the idea is that you already present, you give the context in class, but you simply select the words that you think, or they think they selected the words that they think it would be hard for them. And then it's like, to enter class, this is your word, this is your word, this is your word. It's just basically a quick review. Carla, any thoughts?
Yes, teacher. Well, I think that if they really understand the words and the context, they will have a fluently use in the future and will become more independent.
Yeah, totally agree. Yeah. I am very sure to have that feeling that if they fail the visa interview, they may say, hire this teacher if I am failing the visa. That's my nightmare these days. Gustavo says new words are meaningful for them and they're going to recall them from context. Yeah, could be. The students try to improve their vocabulary, practice the grammar. Yes, they are. Yes. Okay, thank you, guys. Gladys, you have something to say?
Yes, I just wanted to add that that technique is really important, especially of the scenario. The scenario is what you say, the interview. So their mind is working on that. They're
Yes.
using the tools, the vocabulary, and also the scenario. The situation is going to be fine. So students or your students are going to get the visa for sure.
I hope. Yeah. I gave them the questionnaire, potential questions for visa interview. They know the context, they know, but I'm really okay. So I'm gonna stop sharing this. I just opened my PDF. Let's go back to the usual PDF. I'm gonna jump from some things, guys, because we are running out of time. As usual, this was always my nightmare. That's hard to be a teacher to be running out of time. So I will jump here, but don't worry. Tony in San Menos is going to explain to you how to access the platform. I have already given him the materials. So, just a second. Second. Okay, so this is the PDF. I think it's going to be faster here. Easier. Okay. It says choosing what vocabulary to teach. Okay. Please look at this list and check the ones that you think you may use. Again, check this list, read the list, and check the techniques that you think you're gonna use. I'm gonna make it bigger so you can see them. Can you read? Let's see. Is it better? Can you see?
Yes, we can see.
Good. Thank you, Jorge. Okay, so check the things, check the items that you think you will use in your class. Give me some minutes. Okay, so which of these items you may use? Anybody? Sonia? The second option, teach words that the learners may need for an upcoming activity, like my case, the one that makes me worried. For example, some important words in a reading text. Jorge, can you speak, please? Jorge?
Hello,
Sorry, number
good
four.
evening.
Okay,
Okay, Jorge?
yeah, okay. Number four, teach words that you think the learners will find useful in their day-to-day lives.
Yes. Thank you, Jorge. Sonia, you wanted to say something?
Yes, well, and that the vocabulary that you're going to teach, it depends of the situation. For example, in a classroom, when you are going to practice a new vocabulary for a reading, the second option is the best, but depends of the context. You can choose the vocabulary. That I think
Yes,
this is
definitely.
important. We have to focus on what is the objective of the class.
Thank you. Pilar says teach words that the learners ask about and want to know. Percy says that number four, teach words that you think the learners will find useful in their day-to-day lives. Yeah, because with the ladies, in my case, if they get the visa, we will need English for travelers, like to the restaurants, for the bus,
Yeah,
those
yeah,
things. So I have to
you're
work.
right.
We will have to work with those ladies. Yes,
Yeah,
Jorge,
yeah,
do you have
you're right,
something to say?
teacher. You're right, teacher, because the ladies you are teaching are going to need these words, so they need to speak, uh, immediately. Uh, they don't have to look for words or need a dictionary. They have to talk.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Jack says 234. Argenis says 2342. Boris, you have something to say?
Well, I agree with the teacher that said that it depends on the concept and also on the situation. But to me, some words that I would choose would be teach words that are very frequent in English because they're going to be useful for them, and of course teach them words that they want to know because interest and motivation are like key drivers in learning as well.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Eugenio says, Alejandro says, to be honest, all of them, depending on the situations. I think all of them is useful in all levels. Yes, Jack, they're totally right, John. All of them. Yes. Miracles book and also numbers sometimes says, yeah, I totally agree with you guys. That's good. Then let's jump into we're gonna skip this one. This I consider this important. Learners' problems and their causes. Let me know. Can you see them? You need to make it bigger.
No, it's all right.
No?
It's
Good. Okay,
okay.
so think about what the learner's problems are. This will be our last task. We are not gonna jump into lesson planning. It's too much time. Okay, thank you for your interest. There are some messages there. I think you finished. In the case number one, what's the problem there? Somebody. Ajá, Alejandro. Alejandro. Okay, Gustavo says that political is the problem. Yeah, that's good. Yes, Alejandro. Adjective. Okay. Political. What about cooker? Politician. Noun. Cecilia. Cecilia. John.
Cooker is a British word for stove.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's a
I
wrong
think
meaning. It has to be cook
yes.
or chef.
Definitely. I have when I was solving this in our first training, I put word class. Word class because I think the student is confusing basically nouns and adjectives. Number two, somebody, John.
Wait, wait.
The verbs. The verbs
Uh-huh.
are wrong. It's not a make a photograph, it's a take a photograph.
Mm-hmm.
And the to be the hard smoker, that also the adjective is wrong. So it's a
Mm-hmm.
collocation with a verb and a noun.
Yes. Somebody else had any other idea? Somebody's speaking there. Yes, the same. Uh-huh. I put here, yeah, as John says, collocation. Then number three, somebody.
The
It
expression
says
messed up is informal, so you cannot use informal
Mhm.
language when you write a letter.
Yeah.
So it's much better to use
Mm-hmm.
a formal expression.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's right. I also put here formality. Number four, somebody, Janira.
Yes, as I mentioned in the chat, uh, we are students are mixing our native language, our L1, to our L2. For example, a Portuguese speaker is referring to their relatives.
Mm-hmm.
In 4B, we as Spanish speakers, and this is a common mistake we had or we face during our classes. They relate the
Yeah.
word embarrassed to pregnant because in Spanish it's embarazada, no?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a common mistake
Definitely.
to join or to link our L1 to the L2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The first case happened to me when I was a student. I said parents for parientes. My teacher corrected me. I still remember. Number five, somebody.
I think ourselves is not right there.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah, ourselves.
the
And
right the right sentence could be let's meet at 8:30. You know.
mm-hmm. Yeah, Yanira says possessive. Yeah, says ourselves. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I put here some sort of saying like they shouldn't be reflexive. Okay, so that's what I intended to share with you. What I tried to share with you. It was a hands-on to prepare a lesson plan, but I'm sure we are not going to make it. Usually we run out of time. So let's recap. Learners need lessons which focus on vocabulary, but vocabulary may also be taught relatively quickly in parts of other lessons. Teachers may teach individual words or combinations of words or common phrases. Learners need to know how to say and write a word or phrase, what it means. And here, well, thank you.